The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Steward Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Steward Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Steward Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us. I always like to remind you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right, where you could see this show. It takes you right to the YouTube channel. You can see and hear the show at stewart.com/radio. Thank you for joining us. An interesting show today. We're going to talk to Stewart Title business development officers, and we're taking the corporate jet to Baltimore, Washington area on the East Coast. We're going to find out about real estate there with an incredible individual. And right here in Houston, Texas, again, we're going to talk to our business development people, and we're going to talk about money right here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. And we're going to begin right now. It's always exciting to leave Houston, Texas, and find out what's going on around the country. We are going to a very interesting part of the world. Central Maryland, Washington, D.C. We have the one and only Anthony Correo. He is with Long and Foster Real Estate. In addition, they're part of the Forbes Global Properties. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be here this morning. Thanks for having me.
And I would think right now, your area of the world, that East Coast, you're near Annapolis, Maryland, the Atlantic Ocean. So many things are proximate to where you are practicing real estate in a tremendous way. But many people don't realize you're also having probably super weather right about now. And it's awesome. Let's tell people about the area and about your company.
Sure. So let's start, I guess, with the company. We are Long and Foster. We're the largest real estate company in the Baltimore Metro, D.C. Metro, Northern Virginia marketplace. Their blueprint actually spans from New Jersey all the way down to South Carolina. They're the dominant real estate company, and including, of course, the District of Columbia. They were acquired back in January of 2018 by Warren Buffett. So we are part of the Home Services Corporation of America, is Warren's umbrella real estate company. He bought Long and Foster because of their 52-year dominance in real estate in this locality. You know, he likes to buy best-in-breed companies, dominant market share, great executive leadership. So we recently, Bill, came across an exciting, exclusive strategic alliance that we formed with Forbes Global Properties. We were approached by Forbes to become, because of our luxury status, we sell and list more luxury property than any other brokerage in this area. And we are part now of the exclusive relationship with Forbes Global Properties, which basically puts us in contact with the membership of Forbes worldwide. Goes up to almost 77 countries. We would be able to tie into a local 1% top realtor in these 77 countries, all 50 states domestically, to ensure that our clients on referral are getting access to the top and best agents in their localities. So that's a little bit about the company. You're right. I couldn't agree with you more about how unique the area is here. You know, when people don't understand geography too well, especially if they've never been, but you could get on a train here, you know, in Maryland, in Montgomery County, and, you know, you're in New York City on the Acela in an hour and 50 minutes. You're in DC in 30 minutes. You're in Annapolis in 30 minutes. It's just a wonderful place. We are really blessed to have the Chesapeake Bay, and we're the home of the best Maryland blue claw crabs in the world.
There you go.
There it is. I know you're familiar with it. People come from all over the world every year just to eat these crabs. And just a little tidbit, they're responsible for about 75% of the gross domestic product in Maryland. Is that amazing?
That really is amazing. And just a word, we will talk about the crab, the Maryland Chesapeake Bay crab right now for a minute or so, because when I lived in Kensington, Maryland, and I would love those crab cakes, and I'm going back many decades, but things were stuffed with crab, the flounder stuffed with crab meat, the crab imperial, the shrimp with crab meat, and, of course, crab cakes. And to this day, I always loved the crab cakes back then in Maryland. However, as I've sought restaurants here in Houston, and even as I used to travel all around the United States and even in other parts of the world, I have never had a crab cake or crab meat like you have right there. And I still search, but I guess I have to just come back to Maryland.
Yeah. But I'm a world traveler, Bill, myself. I've actually lived in 8 different states, 3 different countries. And guess what? They don't make them any better here than Maryland. When I wasn't a resident of Maryland, I used to come in and always say, God, they have the magic sauce over here. But it's really true. It's just it's their pride and joy, but they're known, of course, renowned worldwide for this crab. So it's wonderful.
Well, early on, Anthony, you mentioned the areas and bringing it into perspective for especially Texans and Houstonians right here where we are and people hearing at the time of broadcast. But you've mentioned major market areas like Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Washington, D.C. is a whole separate thing, and then you even added Northern Virginia. So those places are relatively close, and as a real estate professional leading a team, you're leading several offices, but I would think there's different ways or different rules in doing business in each of those 2 of the states and, of course, the unique District of Columbia. Give us a word about that, how you're able to be nimble, you and your team, serving people in these, I guess, with different rules and maybe even different contracts.
Yep. So as you know, Bill, in the national real estate governed by the feds really oversees fair housing and lead-based paint rules. The rest of real estate law and annotated code of contracting is written at the state level. And then, of course, it's complemented by local jurisdictionary law. So every specific unique state here that we interface with, primarily Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, there are these local jurisdictional laws that apply in each of the respective areas. For example, you can have an agent represent both parties in Virginia. Dual agency is allowed in Virginia for one agent representing both clients. That is not the case. That is not allowed in D.C. or Maryland. So that's significantly different. But it's really the local jurisdiction laws that are significantly different. For example, Washington, D.C. has some of the strictest you could imagine rental laws in the country about eviction, about protected classes, et cetera. Harrod County, for example, has the highest number of protected classes in Maryland. They have the highest number of protected classes in the nation with regards to fair housing. So that's different because you have to understand that what is potentially not a protected class in D.C. is a protected class in Harrod County. It may not be a protected class in New York, New Jersey, et cetera. So got to understand and that's why the local expertise, Bill, you just nailed it. The local expertise is obviously crucial, especially on relocation. You know, this is a hub of relocation from people all over the world. It's a true melting pot. We're also the cybersecurity capital, Bill, as you know, of the world. So we have the National Security Administration here. We have they interface with the FBI, the CIA, the Pentagon. We have Fort Meade Base, which is a intellectual capital intelligence agency that works with this cyber initiatives very closely with NSA. So we have a influx of high-tech, high cyber engineers coming in the defense industry from literally all over the world, getting the best talent in to keep our country safe. And in a time of crisis, of course, going around the world right now, that's helped add a lot of stability to the marketplace because where many jobs were cut during COVID, of course, there were so many challenges. That defense cybersecurity area was what? It was adding jobs, right, incrementally. So it kept a balance and a lot of them are high-paying jobs, Bill. So they're above the normal median in pay scale. So it created an element of a protected, very well defined and protected work stability area.
And I want to do something I've never done before on this show, and this is show number 428 or 429. However, I want to encourage people now, certainly if you're driving, wait till you get home. But I want to encourage you, go to the map, as I have it on my computer, and see Baltimore and Washington, D.C., and then look at the coast. You have Annapolis, Maryland. Look at these towns, and as you describe, the agencies that are designed for protection that are right there in the D.C. area. There are so many other things, and it's just a very rich area in history and so many things. Let's tell people, Anthony, about your role, because you're more than just a real estate professional. You're leading a team of several offices. Let's describe that and give people a perspective of what you're doing day in and day out.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So we're a boutique shop in luxury. My background came from the medical world. I was the senior director of sales for Amgen, the largest biotechnology company in the world, Applied Molecular Genetics. I was then the CEO and president of one of the largest physician organizations in the world, International Physicians Network. So leveraging my past clients and my employees, we discovered a very high niche servicing the medical community, and of course dominant here with the University of Maryland and the Johns Hopkins Integrated Healthcare institutions. So we started out in Howard County with my group, and the Howard County office was, we got in there about almost 20 years ago. We then branched our tentacles out in the Lutherville, Timonium, Baltimore County office. And then most recently, just about 3 years ago, we expanded into the North Potomac, Rockville area in Montgomery County. So that Baltimore office in Lutherville, really we are servicing the Baltimore City County, Baltimore County, Harford and Cecil County areas. In the Howard County, Columbia office, we're servicing clients in Howard County, Carroll County, Anne Arundel County, across the Bay Bridge over into Queen Anne's County and Talbot counties. And then in the North Potomac marketplace, we're servicing the Northern Virginia, basically Loudoun and Fairfax County areas, Washington, D.C., of course, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and Calvert County. So we really have a very broad coverage area. Again, we do have a niche in luxury just because of our clientele. We're servicing basically the entire Baltimore Metro, D.C. Metro, and Northern Virginia markets with the group.
We're talking with Anthony Correo with Long and Foster Realty in the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. Anthony, as we have a few minutes left, let's tell people, as far as the marketplace right now, each one there is so unique and so different, I'm imagining, but how is the market right now? We're hearing about, certainly here in Texas, Houston, offers above list price, all that sort of thing. Interest rates are getting higher. What's it like right now in the marketplace? Is there one market in your area, let's say, that's more popular than others, or what's it like?
Yeah, the D.C. Metro, Central Maryland market, and Northern Virginia market remains extremely strong, Bill. We're really no different than the national headlines regarding the shortage of inventory. I mean, I've been practicing real estate for 20 years, but I've been buying real estate for 38 years. I've never seen anything this extreme and dire with regards to the amount of units available for sale to the public.
Wow. Right
Right now in Maryland, through April, year over year, Bill, we're down 13.9% in units at only 7,933 in total units. I mean, those are just really profound numbers. Average prices, of course, due to the commoditization of real estate. And of course, you know, it's a commodity, supply and demand. With those reduction in inventory available, the sellers are in control. We had a year-over-year prices for full year last year, 2021 in the state of Maryland. We had almost a 14.6% increase in year-over-year pricing. We were up 8.1% just April versus April of last year. Median prices up 8.3%. And these are record-breaking prices, I would mind you. These are breaking records. all-time high prices. Pending units are down just because inventory is down. Active inventory with new listings coming on remains challenged. I think the predicament that the market is in right now, Bill, probably the same nationwide, I'm assuming same in Houston, is that as we see these interest rates come up so quickly, right? Who would have thought we would have gone from 3 1/8 interest rates in December to nearly 6% here, right, in May? It's just been a rapid escalation. But now we're in a situation where the affordability index is really challenged. And also you have people that are not willing to move out of their current interest rates that they have on their existing properties, some in the high two. Yeah, some in the high 2s and 3s. Now they're thinking about moving on, and they're going to be financing at levels close to 6. That's causing a lot of people not to move, even worsening an already challenged inventory situation. We have literally 6 days, Bill, is the median days on market. 6 days. Just crazy.
So many factors are at play. It's like we've never seen before, as you said.
Yeah. The only thing that we are trying to emphasize to our buyers, it's obviously an easy discussion to put your house on the market. You're going to sell it quickly for top dollar. You're going to get – I wanted to answer your question. You're saying you're still seeing a lot of being sold above the list price. 54% of all homes in April, Bill, were selling at list price or better. In the luxury market, it is not uncommon for us to see $150,000 to $300,000 above list price.
Wow.
on property listed between $1.5 and $3.5 million. It's commonplace. The number of offers, Bill, I'm sure it's the same in Houston, as we've gotten such an acclimatous rise in interest rates over the last 5 months, right, from the 3 to the close to 6. We're seeing the number of offers obviously come down as affordability comes down. We're pricing people, some people getting priced out, right? Especially the first-time home buyers. That's really difficult for them. The luxury market hasn't been hit as hard just because they could sustain and withstand, a rise in interest rate. They just have more affluence, of course, and liquidity. But the number of offers is coming down, but we're not seeing the amount of escalation come down. It's just a lower number of offers, still an incredible elevation on pricing though. So what we're advising our buyers is this situation doesn't look like, Bill, it's going away. We just saw the Fed at the last meeting put out a Fed funds rate target of 3.65%. We're at 0.75 to 1% Fed funds rate right now. So, so we're trying to tell people you might want to condense your timeline for moving. If you thought you were going to move in 2-3 years, you might want to think about that now, or you might be paying 7%, Bill, in an interest rate. Think about it. And if houses continue to escalate, which we don't think that there's anything imminent in the near future of why they would go down when the shortage is continuing, if you accelerate your purchasing, if you're a buyer considering it, getting to a better school district, getting a bigger home or downsizing even, you're gonna be paying less for the house now than we think you'll be paying in a few years. And also that rate in your discretionary income, of course, will be greater as your monthly payment will be more manageable at a lower interest rate. So that's what we're trying to advise our buyers. Don't think it's all gloom and doom, and don't think you're going to be in a holding pattern, because if you have to move, you want to take advantage. I think you got to move, right? And if you're thinking about it, you might want to condense your cycle. So that's basically what our logic's been in advising our buyer clients.
And Anthony, we have less than a minute. However, I want to tell people, while I have the map out, looking at it, summer's upon us. This is a super area, Baltimore, Washington. It's a super area to go for a trip, a vacation, but also it's a great area for that second home. And with, again, less than a minute, what else do you want people to know? And let's tell them how they can reach you, Anthony Correo.
Yes, sir. We don't forget our other crown jewel. We have Annapolis, the sailing capital of the world.
I'm looking at it right now.
Right. We have the Navy, of course, the Naval Academy,
Yes.
training our top naval grads and officers worldwide for us around the world. Right here, another crown jewel in Annapolis. You get out in the Chesapeake Bay, taking a sailboat out on the Severn of the Magathie. Absolutely breathtaking. And because of the one last thing I'll add is Howard County, Maryland, okay, is the number one rated, has been for almost 10 years, public school system in the United States.
Wow.
And so we have people coming into the area. They want to live in this Baltimore metro, DC metro area. They're taking advantage of the schools as well. So what does that correspond to? Incredibly high rental rates. Okay, vacancy rates are extremely low. In some cases, they're non-existent. So a wonderful place for an investment property, a magnificent place for a second home to take advantage of all that Maryland has to offer. And the downtown Baltimore and downtown DC area, we'll take DC first. DC with all of the galleries, the art museum, obviously all of the federal attractions, right? With the Washington Monument, the Capitol, Jefferson, Lincoln Memorial. I could name 100, right? And then Baltimore gets a little bad rap, as you see on the national globe, with some crime reporting. But I will tell you that in Baltimore City, it is home to some of the top-rated chefs in the world. And that downtown Inner Harbor area is just a magnificent place to be. And, of course, there's the theater and a great aquatic type of environment down there as well on the water. So it has a lot to offer, Bill.
And how can we reach you, Anthony?
Yes, my best contact would be cell at 410-336-0877. 410-336-0877, or email at my first initial, last name Corrao, CORRAO, at LNF, LucyNancyFrank.com, Corrao at LNF.com.
You can call Anthony at 410-336-0877. I'm on my way to get some crab cakes. Anthony, thanks for being on the show.
Bill, I welcome you with open arms. Anytime you're in town, I'm going to take you out. Let's make it happen. I hope to see you in my neck of the woods soon. And thanks again for hosting us today. Appreciate the invite.
Let's welcome Ryan Calkins. He is with NRL Mortgage. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me.
Super awesome. Money is a hot topic all the time, but especially now. Let's tell people, first of all, about your company, NRL Mortgage.
Yeah, NRL Mortgage, located right here in Houston, Texas. We're a local lender. Of course, we do loans all throughout the country. But anything residential, whether it's, your standard loans like FHA, VA, conventional, or a lot of non-QM loans that are coming out lately. And, at that point, got a lot available in order to meet those needs.
Well, one of the big things we're hearing about, of course, is, months ago we were talking about, man, the rates are so low.
Right.
Now we're saying the rates are climbing to higher levels than we've seen in a long time. So let's tell people a little bit about what you're telling the buyer, the potential buyers that are out there saying, Ryan, what should I do? The rates are going higher. What's up?
Well, rates in general, obviously, they've climbed quite a bit over the past 6 months. Right now, we're sitting at about 10-year lows. And, overall, the average rate over the past 30 years is still around 7%. So, with interest rates moving up, obviously, home prices are increasing as well. So, down the road, who knows where interest rates will be, but home prices should continue to rise just based off of inventory. So, whether you're renting or owning a home, obviously renting is 100% interest. So you just got to weigh your options and obviously kind of figure out what's best for you and your family.
One of the things we're hearing about, in fact, in the newspaper today, I was seeing about the adjustable rate mortgages making a return, or seems like it. Give us the word on that. Yeah,
an adjustable rate mortgage, obviously, you are kind of betting on the interest down the road, right? Depending if it's a 5-1 ARM or a 7-1 ARM. And of course, that 5 or 7 years is the term in which it kind of stays the same rate. After that, you do go market. So, those options are available and they're starting to get a little bit more, momentum anyways. But, what's probably making more momentum are a lot of these non-QM loans. A lot of these loans we haven't seen probably since subprime, loans similar to stated income loans where they don't verify any sort of income or employment, or, real estate investor loans, bank statement loans. So a lot of those are starting to make a huge comeback coming into this year.
Let's clarify that. You said non-QM loans. What does that mean? What's
right,
especially the Q? That's
right.
mysterious.
So it's just non-quality mortgages is what they're called. So anything outside of what's being sold to, let's say, Fannie or Freddie, and those are typically just regular FHA, VA conventional loans. The type of loan programs everyone's familiar with. But, with the market the way it's been over the past several years, it's opened up some opportunity for other investors and mortgage banks to basically kind of decide what risk they're willing to take and create programs that allow more opportunity for people in a little bit, more creative scenarios that probably wouldn't qualify for regular conventional loans. So it just creates more opportunity in that regard.
We're talking with Ryan Calkins with NRL Mortgage. And let's tell people, Ryan, as far as geographically where your office is located and kind of the sphere in which you help people and you're serving people.
Sure. Well, we help people all over Texas. Now, our office is located in League City. But of course, all of our businesses all throughout Houston. It's a big city. And, overall, NRL, they're located nationwide, but, our corporate office is right here in Houston. All of our underwriting, closing, funding, all of those things are done pretty much in-house. And, at that point, it offers a little more consistency with the transaction.
And one of the things where I get confused, there's a lot of different types of loans that are out there, and we don't have time to talk about all of them, but what are the most popular ones? And what is the mechanics of if there's a couple or an individual coming to you for the loan, how do we know which loan fits that person the best, or what are the questions that you ask them to determine that tailoring, so to speak, of the loan?
Sure. Well, the most common loans are going to be conventional financing, FHA, of course, VA loans for veterans. And, what we do to figure out, what people can qualify for is really just figure out what their goals are and what their needs. What is your budget? What can you afford monthly? How much do you have saved up? And based off of those details, a lot of times will give us enough information in order to pick a loan program that fits best with them and their needs and, sets them up for, a loan they can live with for a long time.
And in your profession, I'm sure years ago, 5 months ago, especially maybe right now, how often do people say, hey, Ryan, what's the interest rate?
Well, that's the first question, as always.
As soon as you tell them what you do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. What are rates right now? Now, every scenario is different. You're going to get different rates for different loan programs, different credit scores, down payments. The best suggestion at that point is to reach out to somebody to kind of go over your personal details and, tailor something that fits you specifically.
As far as in the loans, let's take, and I know there's different types of loans in the last 10 people that you have helped, or last 10 couples or families. What is the going average as far as down payment? What are you seeing people putting down these days now that the higher interest rate has emerged?
Well, the down payment requirements are still the same. FHA is as low as 3.5%. Conventional loans can be low as 3%. A lot of people opt for 5% or even 20% down to avoid mortgage insurance. VA is still 100% financing with no mortgage insurance. It's one of the best loans out there if you qualify for it. But, overall, the down payments, there's a lot paths of least resistance when it comes to that, depending on which option you choose and, obviously what your budget is.
And of all the things you could be doing in the real estate profession or elsewhere, how is it that you got involved in the money part of things?
Well, I got my real estate license as far as sales as a realtor in 2003. And then, through subprime, worked my way through eventually getting into loans in 2008, right before the bottom fell out. But, at that point, I was new to the industry. There wasn't a lot of, well, this is how we used to do it. And I was able to adapt and build my business, through the housing bubble. And then, of course, at this point, I've been doing it for about 15 years. So we've got a great process, great support staff underneath me. And it's definitely a different market than it was back then for sure.
So here you are. You're enjoying it so far, huh?
Yeah, I've made it so far.
There you go. If you were to guess, no one knows the future. However, here we are, halfway through the year, pretty much.
Almost.
So what's your feel based on your experience and even your feelings and talking to people along the way? How do you think things are going to unfold in the next couple months or so?
Well, I mean, next couple months or next year, I mean, inventory is still low. Interest rates are going up, but we still have a lot of transplants coming from all over the country to Texas and Houston in particular. So supply and demand is always going to be a thing, regardless of which industry you're in. And depending on, I'd just say the market or the economy in general, as long as it stays strong and we don't go into some, stock market crash or whatever else, I mean, we'll probably still be sitting somewhere around the same price points, maybe if not a little bit worse, but it really just depends on the market.
And when you're helping people in the, let's say, primarily League City area, How many of the people that you're serving are from outside of Houston?
Oh, we get a lot of transplants. We get a lot of relocations from California, Illinois, Oregon. So there's definitely a lot of people moving to Houston. And on top of that, we have our local people their families are growing. Millennials just hit 25 to 35, so they've entered the market. So there's definitely a lot of competition out there. But at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity as well.
Also, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing and anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to kind of reiterate that, financing has gotten a little bit easier. Granted, rates have increased a little bit, but more creative options are available for people who may have been denied in the past, whether it has to do with some self-employed individuals who just maybe weren't claiming as much money, but they have the money in the bank in order to back up that income. And there's ways to approve those loans and maybe revisit if it's something that you've tried in the past and, weren't able to get approved for.
That's a good point. Real quick, tell us about the self-employed independent contractor person out there. What extra things do they have to do and prepare for with your company or really any company to get the loan?
Well, I mean, as far as self-employed, we have to qualify off of what's filed on the tax returns, right? If we're qualifying for a regular traditional mortgage, whether conventional or any of those other traditional loans. Now, there are other investors that have come out and they've assessed risk a little differently. They're okay with, if you have great credit and good assets and good payment history on your credit and things like that, they can overlook certain things as far as the income and what you're filing with the IRS. And, those products, obviously create more opportunity, whereas before, we didn't have a whole lot in that regard.
We're talking with Ryan Calkins with NRL Mortgage. Ryan, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, reach out, myhomeloanguy.com, or you can reach out on my cell phone, actually, 281-924-5816. Any questions, mortgage?
Hey, I like that website, myhomeloanguy.com.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Me.
People can that are driving don't even have to write it down.
That's it. Just mental note.
myhomeloanguy.com. You can give Ryan a call at 281-924-5816. Ryan, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Steward Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Steward Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage the risks. Here he is, John Bramlett with Steward Insurance. John.
Welcome, Bill. Nice to have you.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Or the other way around.
Exactly.
Since I hosted last week, I feel like I'm still there again.
That's right. I'm totally disoriented. New studio, my first time to be here. We're talking to each other. I don't know if I'm being interviewed or I'm interviewing you. What's going on?
I don't know either, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad Will's producing again for us this week, and we've had such fabulous guests.
No doubt about it. And the adventure continues, John. Here we are, episode 429, I believe, and just another insurance segment to put the icing on the cake of this show. What do you have for us today?
Well, today I thought we would talk a little bit about Steward Insurance and the ways that we can help our listeners and the ways that we can be of value to our listeners. I think the first thing that's important is to understand the difference between a captive agent and an independent agent. So Steward Insurance, which is owned by Stewart Title, we are an independent agent, which means we have access to a variety of insurance partners, both on the personal line side as well as the commercial line side, to assist them in building insurance plans to become properly insured, where a captive agent has access to only the programs and plans available from that company. So we've got some flexibility in building plans because we're independent. The second point that's important is the difference between this idea of a plan and a policy. Many companies will try to sell a policy just to get a transaction, whereas a plan, we spend the time and invest the time to make sure that we understand what our clients' needs are, and from that, we can build a plan that best meets their needs. And it could be the most robust plan in the world, and it could be a very conservative plan. But the idea being that our clients are comfortable with the coverage that they have and the responsibilities they're taking on versus the responsibilities they're placing on the insurance company. And if we have that comfort level, then we believe our clients are properly insured. And I guess the last point from a general perspective would be working with an agent versus working with an advisor. Again, an agent's going to work with you from a transactional perspective. An advisor is going to work with you from a relationships perspective. We're going to make sure that we take the time and invest the time to understand what your family's needs are or what your business needs are.
And of course, the key is to be properly insured. That is so important. The Steward Insurance associates do a tremendous job of working with the person on the phone in a tremendous way, asking the right questions so we know we can be properly insured and have as much or as little insurance as necessary.
Absolutely. And whether it's a brand new client where we're learning about their family and where they live and what their expectations are and how they use their home, to whether it's a real estate broker where we're discussing with them, what's their growth been? Have they changed the number of associates? Have they moved? Are they offering different? Are they offering different services beyond maybe just residential sales and support? Are they? Did they have an increase in gross commissionable revenues? Did they have a decrease in revenues? Have they added offices? All those things can affect companies' insurability, and you really don't know until you take the time to find out.
In fact, one of the things I'm very mindful of, not because it's my personal situation, but I'm knowing a lot of people that have children that are 15, 14, 16. Oh, yeah, they'll soon be driving, so car insurance, I can't imagine what the rates are these days. That's another change that happens in a person's life in the beginning of the year to the end, right?
Absolutely. So that's why it's important to have an advisor that you can work with so that when those changes happen in life, because it's going to happen, we're going to have those obstacles. Those changes are going to happen. And when they do, you've got an advisor that you can work with to make sure that you are properly insured. Because it may be that if you've gone from 2 drivers to 3, or from 2 drivers to 4, or from 2 cars to 4, or 2 cars to 3, that you might need to change insurance partners. Having the ability to shop and look and partner with different insurance companies gives us some flexibility that, again, make sure that our clients are properly insured.
Of course, there's then the time when that person goes on their own and buys their own insurance, I guess when they get in their 20s or so, and that's a cause for celebration in some households. So there are other things. What are some of the other things? The idea, I like that because sometimes people do not think about the captive agent versus the agent like Steward Insurance that is able to help with several insurance carriers. So what are some of the other things we should think about?
Well, absolutely. So, the ability to be an independent agent and have that access to a variety of partners is important. For our real estate broker family, we can offer up the opportunity, whether it be the broker themselves or the realtors, and we partner quite often with our business development officers at Stewart Title, who you should always be close to. And
we have about 20 here today.
Yes.
We're breaking a record.
We are breaking a record. But the fact that we can work with them to help you grow your business, and that would be an opportunity to be on Real Estate Matters. That this is a great show that touches not only the real estate market within Houston, but because of stewart.com/radio and because of the iHeartMedia app and the YouTube channel where you post the past shows, Bill, we have access to listeners all over the country. As you mentioned earlier, we had a guest today from Maryland.
That's right.
So, it is a nationwide show. So that opportunity to be on the show and promote your business and share with us and share with our listeners the niche that you have in the market, like Ryan did today with NRL. So it's important that we have that, those opportunities. The second is to grow your team. And we have 3 continuing education classes that we offer that I can deliver to real estate brokers and realtors throughout the state of Texas, both in person and I can also do them online. The first is Property Insurance Essentials. That's a 2-hour class where we take a look at how insurance companies value and how they cover different residential properties, from the home property all the way to a vacant lot. We have the 2 sides of water. So insurance companies look at water damage 2 ways, sometimes covered through a home plan and sometimes covered through a flood plan. So what's the differences? Which type of damage is covered by which plan, and what are the nuances of that? That's also a 2-hour class. And then we have real estate liability, which is a 3-hour class that talks about what are the risks that are out there for a broker or realtor. How do you minimize those risks? And then finally, what are some of the insurance products that are available to offset those risks?
In fact, as we're touching the League City area today, in a way, you probably would even go to League City to do one of these classes.
I would go to League City to do one of these classes. Or I might even go to the Woodlands to do one of these classes.
There you go. You're all over the place.
I'm all over the place. And then again, the last way that we can help, and the more traditional way, would be just that, to make sure that whether it's your family, your individual needs, or your business needs, that we can help you be properly insured.
That sounds awesome. Before we close this segment, John, anything else?
Well, if you'd like to be properly insured, whether it be for your who doesn't, your family or your business, you can reach us at 866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. You can learn more about us online at stewartinsurance.com, or you can email us at stewardinsurance@stewart.com.
In fact, people that are enjoying the Chesapeake Bay crab meat, the crab cakes, the flounder stuff with crab meat up there in the wonderful Chesapeake Bay area where the crab meat is like none other, even they can call
866-798-2827. I think as they're waiting for their second glass of iced tea, as they're enjoying that wonderful crabs, they can make a phone call and become properly insured.
That's right. Even in Maryland, the District of Columbia, Northern Virginia, anywhere in the United States.
League City in the Woodlands.
And the number again is
866-798-2827.
Thank you so much, John Bramlett.
Always a pleasure, Bill.
I say it almost all the time, but I say it a lot, and that is stay close to your Stewart Title Business Development Officer. And today, here on this show, we have more business development officers than ever before. We're going to talk to as many as we can. But first, our newest one, she started about a week ago. Her name is Shelly Keller. Shelly, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. But first of all, Stewart Title, we have so many offices serving people in a tremendous way all the time here in Houston and beyond. But let's tell people about the offices that you're going to be helping.
Yes, I currently reside over the Woodlands as well as Willis, and may touch a little bit in Huntsville.
And those are really growing areas. I'm hearing about it all the time.
Yes, they're blowing up everywhere. As far as inventory in the Woodlands, it's going pretty good, but from what everybody tells me, Willis is just blowing up and growing. It's getting a little bit more city as we keep talking.
They're going to be clearing some land, because I know that area, there's a lot of trees in the Willis area, kind of sort of like in the Lake Livingston and that sort of thing. But I think one of the interesting things about you that I know so far, knowing you all about 15 minutes, that is let's tell people how Stewart Title found you, or you found Stewart Title here in short order.
To be honest, it was extremely interesting. So I went in to close on my first home, and my escrow closer, Trisha, she asked me what I did for a living at the time, and I told her I worked for a marketing firm for new community developments. And she said they were looking for someone like that. Told her I'd get her in touch with my boss. And she said, no, we would like to hire you. Would you like to come in and interview? And I laughed it off, and then took a second glance at her and I said, oh, you're serious? And she brought in the gentleman, Gary, that oversees our office, and we set up an interview right then and there for the following week.
Sounded like opportunity was knocking in a magnificent way, and here you are, and now you're on the radio. She probably didn't mention that, did she?
No, nobody told me that I was going to try to become famous in a week to also.
Well, it happened. Stranger things have happened, but we're glad to have you aboard. And let's tell people again, your offices are
the Woodlands and Willis.
So people can reach out to you when they need help, because the reason I say stay close to the Stewart Title Business Development Officer is because you and others on our team are tremendous resources for the real estate professionals out there in our given areas.
Yes, sir. I mean, any question you have, any contacts you need, we definitely do our best to find you the answer and resolve any issues that you have and get things done as succinctly and precisely as possible.
That sounds great to me. Shelly Keller right there, Stewart Title Business Development Officer in the Woodlands. Shelly, thanks for being on the show. Come back again and bring some more people.
Sure will.
And speaking of new business development officers, for Stewart Title, here she is, Joyce Eisenberg. Joyce, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. Good to be here.
And we're glad that you brought Anthony, our guest earlier in the show in the Baltimore, Maryland area. Thanks for bringing him on board. He was unbelievable.
Well, he is a blast, and he's in real estate a long time, and he's hilarious. and he has ties to Nan and Company here. So I thought, why not start with an out-of-towner, my first guest on the show.
He was tremendous. Also, let's tell people about the offices or office that you cover for Stewart Title right here in the Houston area.
So I am in Katy and Fulshire. So I live in Katy, and I'm working the Katy and the Fulshire offices.
And so far, give us an idea how that's working out. How's the marketplace right now in Katy and Fulshire? I mean, we're hearing about both of them are just crazy, I guess. But tell us firsthand. You're there.
I'm there. Katy and Fulshire are blowing up. It's crazy out there. Obviously, as with all places, there's not enough inventory, but we're hitting on spring and summer now, so we're hoping that there will be more inventory. There's more new constructions coming up, and just lots of agents out there working their tails off. It's great. We are having a blast.
And I say you're newer Stewart Title. How long you been on board, actually? Like a month?
2 months today, I think.
Time flies, huh?
It does.
Well, thank you so much. Before we close your portion here, what else do you want people to know? They can reach out to you at Katy.
Stewart Title, Katy and Fulshire. I don't know my new cell phone number. I'm so new. Anything you need us for, coaching, mentoring, training, 33 years in real estate. I'd love to help all the new agents out
good
there.
To me. Thank you so much, Joyce
Thanks, Bill.
Eisenberg. And now she brought Shelley on board to the show. Hope Moy. Hope, welcome to the show. It's been a while. We haven't seen you.
I know. I've missed you so much.
Well, here we are, the brand new studio. What do you think so far?
I love it. It's great view, great windows, and man, it fits so many people in here.
And we have a total, I'm counting right now with both hands, 6 business development officers, 7, including me. That's crazy.
Yes. Go BDO team.
We need a second radio show.
I know.
What's going on? And let's tell people your offices are.
So I cover the Magnolia, Conroe, Montgomery area.
How's things going up there?
Man, like everyone else has said today, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everything's blowing up. Inventory is a little low, but spring, summer coming up, and we're hoping to see lots of traffic through our offices.
Well, and as I said, you and other business development people in our company are doing really great things. You have regular events that take place, educational things where you might bring in John Bramlett with Steward Insurance and or others. But do you have anything in particular that you want to bring forth that's coming up?
Yes. So next week on the 24th, I have a Legal One update with Rob Cook.
How about that? He's a regular listener to the show.
I know. He brings so much to the table. People love him. I do all of my classes Zoom, and they fill up. So if you are needing any legal updates, get with me, and I'll definitely get you signed up.
That sounds good to me. So in the meantime, let's tell people how they can reach you at your offices, or what else you want to bring forth before we move on to the next 20 business development officers that we have here. And then I'm going to have a cookie.
Yes. So what I will say is both of my offices have 100+ years experience. And I say that because knowledge is power. I think that we bring a lot to the table. We've been through every transaction that you could possibly think of. And you want somebody working those deals that then can get you through them and get you to that closing table.
That sounds good to me. Hope Moy. And they can reach you, Hope, at?
My number is 346-224-1908. 346-224-1908. Come and see us.
And now here she is, Rachel Saunders. And we also have Susan Bottoms and Jennifer Bradley. We're going to try to get in also. Rachel, wow, what a show, huh? You ever seen so many people? Good thing we're in a new big studio,
We
huh?
have space and all that good stuff. It's amazing.
It's awesome. Let's tell people the offices you cover.
Well, I'm down in the Friendswood Pearland area, which is southeast of Houston, a little bit in Galveston County and Brazoria County.
How's business down there?
It is busy. Orders are coming in like crazy. And like Hope said, we have tons of experience at our offices, and I think we could say that for all of our offices. They have the longevity of being with Stewart for a very long time. So they personally have those experiences with those transactions.
Indeed. It's really incredible how we're covering the United States. And by the way, we're an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange as STC. I've actually talked on the phone to someone in Australia that's a business development officer.
Well, that is so interesting.
Yeah, and it's amazing. So as far as anything that you have coming up, anything we should know about?
Well, yeah, we have several classes coming up here in the near future and events. One class in particular is our wells and septic class. as people are moving, they're moving further out and further out, and they may have a wells and septic system. And so we try to find unique classes that will bring knowledge to our amazing realtors so that they're able to handle what they may come across. So we have that coming up on May 24th. And we have it all over our social media and our Facebook pages, and they just need to reach out to us if they would like to sign up.
That sounds like fun. Well, in the other areas, as we were talking about Willis and that in Huntsville, New Waverly, Livingston, a lot of need for that.
Yeah.
And that's also, I think there's a lot of people that have purchased homes or thinking about buying even a second home in areas where they're like, I never heard of a septic tank. What do I do now?
Yeah, no.
So that's a whole other thing. That's going to be a great class.
Yeah.
That's coming up again when?
That's coming up on May 24th, and we have tons of realtor partners that will be there to talk about how the wells and septic is affected within their industry as well.
All right. That sounds good. Let's tell people how they can reach you again.
They can reach me at 832-418-4778, 832-418-4778.
Right now, in addition to the business development people we've already talked to, guess what? Two more, Jennifer Bradley and Susan Bottoms. Now, you have to get close to the microphone there. First of all, Susan, you're closest. Let's tell people your branch that you cover, your office.
Hi, I'm with Stewart Title, Clear Lake. I'm around the Bay Area, Seabrook, Webster.
And how's business in your area?
Business is like...
Isn't that amazing? It's crazy.
my office is rocking it left and right.
Well, we're glad to see you here. What do you think of the new studio?
I love it.
Isn't it going to be fun?
Yes.
We're already thinking. I could see it coming out of the thought bubbles or whatever they call it in the cartoons. You're all there thinking about, hey, it's nice, but I'm guessing you're also saying, who can I bring forth to enjoy this awesome experience?
I've already invited a couple. I just need to get your dates from you.
All right, there you go. And Jennifer Bradley, it's been too long, but here you are. What's going on?
Bill, I just got a new escrow officer in my League City office, and I can't wait to bring her to
What's
the show.
her name?
Her name is Patricia Williams.
I hope she's listening now that we mentioned her name, or you did.
I told her she's going to eventually be doing the show.
That's going to be awesome. How's business in your office? You're good?
Great.
And how's your mom?
She's good. Her offices are doing great, too.
Well, we're so blessed that all the business is moving along in a tremendous way, but also, especially it's mindful to me right now, is there's so many people here that develop business, that spread the Stewart word day in and day out. We are fortunate to have such a stellar team, in my opinion. I've seen all kinds of sales teams in my career. We have the best of the best, the A++ team, right?
Correct.
How can people reach you?
My number is 281-221-1508. 281-221-1508.
And by the way, David Norris, we want to say hi to him and get him on the show. So we're going to work on that too, right?
Absolutely. We'll get him.
And before we close the show, here they are. We have Matthew Hyde and Ryan Calkins with NRL Mortgage. Guys, with the last minute or so, first of all, Matthew, we hadn't talked to you. You look so much like Tom Cruise. Let's tell people a quick word of what you do with the company.
My name is Matthew Hyde. I am with NRL Mortgage, been there for 10 plus years. Just wanted to announce a huge event that we are bringing into the Clear Lake, and Stewart is a proud sponsor of this event. It is the June 9th Realtor Series event. We are bringing in special speakers Josh Altman and Tracy Tudor from $1 Million Listing on the Bravo channel. So they're going to be getting the agents pumped up, ready for the summer, and I'm sure raising those house prices a lot more than what they have been.
And those guys are big, aren't they?
They are I think what did he do? $1 billion, some crazy numbers. So
Ryan, a quick word before we close. Ryan Calkins, he's back. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
Yeah, reach out myhomeloanguy.com or 281-924-5816. Anything mortgage related, love to hear from you.
Well, there you go. Thank you all. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. That's right. What a show. Lots of people on this show. Simply go to stewart.com/radio. That's stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening. And by the way, if you want that second home in the Baltimore, Maryland area, you know who to call. Call Anthony up there. In addition, if you want to take a tremendous vacation, I love that East Coast, so much history right there. Baltimore, Washington area. It's stellar. Thanks for listening. Stewart.com/radio. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening.